If you're a VR gamer who likes to play MOBAs, you've been out of luck. Probably the best example to date is Megalith on PlayStation VR 1 and Steam, and it's no longer available for purchase. Today we're reviewing Glassbreakers Champions of Moss, a 1v1 MOBA-like game from Polyarc Games, the makers of the excellent Moss VR platformers. The game is currently in the free open beta for Quest on App Lab and will be launching in beta on Steam in October. In Glassbreakers, you and your opponent play as sentient beings called Readers who form a squad of 3 characters and slug it out in a strategic arena combat. On either side of the arena are 3 pieces of crystals called glass. You win the match by successfully destroying your opponent's central glass. This piece of glass is encased in a force field and you have to destroy either of the outside pieces of glass to lower that barrier. Matches are 9 minutes long with an overtime period if the central glass on either side is not destroyed during regulation time. If a character gets knocked down, you have to wait for them to respawn back at your base. This can feel like an eternity if your whole team gets knocked down and your glass is left vulnerable. There are 4 zones throughout the arena, 2 in the middle and 1 on each player's side that, if occupied by one team long enough, offer scrolls to buff 1 of 3 character attributes. A green heart for health, orange sword for attack power, and a yellow star for special attack charge up speed. There's also another crystal that continuously respawns in the middle left called the Swaying Stone. Destroying this significantly weakens your opponent's glass for a short period of time, giving you a big advantage. Oh, and each piece of glass has a turret that fires at you to defend itself. As of this video, you start with 3 characters. Gwendolyn is more or less your tank character. She has a lot of health and her special is an AoE or area of effect spell that diverts some of the damage her teammates take to her, since her high health allows her to absorb more damage and continue the fight. Brel is a crossbow wielding long range fighter with good attack power and one of my favorite specials in the game, a powerful charged arrow that does big time damage. Your last starter is Naji, a good close combat melee character whose special is an acrobatic attack with her bow staff. The other characters in the game have to be purchased using in-game currency, some of which can be purchased from the in-game shop, more on that later. Chetlif, I hope I said that right, Chetlif, I'm not sure, is a powerful close quarter swordsman with a dashing sword special. Barnard, who some of you may recognize as a non-playable character from Moss Book 2, uses magic attacks from a distance. His health and attack power are relatively low, so you don't want him on the front lines, but his special is an AoE fireball that can turn a battle in a hurry. Reese is your healer with terrible health and attack power, but a special that heals the rest of the team. Fully maxed out, this special turns into an AoE with health regeneration. The first new character added to the game was Vendrix, an absolute brute wielding a slow-moving greatsword and one of the best specials in the game, an AoE fire tornado that will quickly weaken your opponents and their glass. Finally, just added to the game this week is Mojo, an adorable mechanized crab with a special that pulls enemies closer. This is great against ranged enemies like Brel, Barnard, and Reese. While in battle, you see a Roman numeral next to each character. This indicates the level of their special ability, and it goes from 1 to 3 as the character does damage and knocks out opponents or glass. Some of these upgrades include applying temporary nerfs to your opponent, like stun where they can't move, or slow where their actions are slowed down. Lastly, there are stars over the special level that go up from 1 to 6. This is important for daily missions we'll talk about later. In terms of strategy, the more I play this, the more I realize how deep of a game it is. Take the Swaying Stone for example. Your opponent can do all the damage to it, but if you deal the final blow, you get credit for the stone and weaken their glass. I should also note that you can see where the other player is looking and putting their hands, so you can anticipate the move they're about to make and devise a counterattack. I don't always defend my glass if it's under attack, for example, particularly if I had the Swaying Stone on my side or I've buffed my strongest characters to do more damage. I could go on and on here, but hopefully you get the point. There's a lot packed into this and I learn every time I play. The game has 3 types of currency: dust, gems, and achievement tokens the community refers to as cookies. You can use these to buy the season pass. The first one was 575 gems, new characters, new skins for your reader, dye to paint your characters, and different color and symbols for the stands your characters are displayed on during the matchup screen. Gems are the only currency currently available for purchase, and you can earn them from the season pass. There are daily missions like breaking your opponent's glass a certain number of times. These earn you extra points on the season pass and for a chest that unlocks with random goodies every Thursday. The season pass is a mix of gems, dust, color dyes, flags, and skins. Some of them are free and some you have to buy the season pass to be able to earn. Glassbreakers is one of those games that can quickly become addictive with the amount of customizations and teams you can form. With 8 non-repeatable characters, that's over 50 possible teams you could take into battle. In terms of visuals and sound, the game looks firmly set in the world of Moss. This is perfectly fine with me. I thought both Moss games were absolutely stunning, and the musical score is some of the best I've ever heard in VR. All the characters have a few lines of voice acting. Mojo and Reese sound especially adorable, though I did miss the narrator from the first 2 Moss games. There's an excellent series of hands-on tutorials in the game that take you through everything I detailed here. Polyarc is walking the tightrope here, wanting to make sure the game has a unique VR feel while still implementing some of the tactics you see in games like League of Legends, Smite, Heroes of the Storm. You're not going to see nearly the amount of APM or attacks per minute as you would in those other games. There are some pro league players who can make upwards of 200 moves per minute, and that's just not possible here. This game also basically resets you at the end of a match. None of your experience earned carries over in terms of strengthening your characters, though I suspect this was a deliberate choice to maintain parity between players. Anyone who has played online multiplayer has experienced getting absolutely wrecked by a character with better stats and weapons, particularly in shooters. There's also a lot of strategy here, and it definitely feels faster paced than the traditional MOBA, but I fear hardcore MOBA fans will be left wanting more depth, for lack of a better term. I don't know if this game will stay free to play when the full release happens, but if it does, I can see the live service model here getting a bit more aggressive. I understand because they do have to turn a profit here, but again, it's all about striking the right balance. I had to buy some gems to get recent mojo for this video, but given how much currency is earned just from playtime, I don't see myself needing to buy any more anytime soon. If you keep the game entirely free to play as a player, you can buy anything you want, albeit much slower. Overall, I think this is a really well crafted game with a quick, addictive gameplay loop, doing pretty much everything well but nothing exceptionally well. It does take some time to figure out what characters work best with your playstyle, so give it some time and play around with different teams until you get the right mix. I'm personally burned out on shooters, and I know a lot of the VR community are starved for more unique multiplayer games like this. When this does hit the main meta store and other platforms, especially if it stays free to play and cross-platform, I can see Glassbreakers having a healthy player base and enjoying the MOBA-like space mostly to itself, similar to Demio's place with tabletop role-playing games. I would absolutely recommend this to anyone who enjoys strategy games, as it has more depth than it would appear to on the surface, while still being not as complex as a traditional flat screen MOBA. Let me know down in the comments if you play Glassbreakers or if you intend to. I'll leave a link to the App Lab store page in the description. I'll leave a link to Polyarc's Discord as well if you're looking to find people to play with. If you enjoyed this review, let me know by tapping the like button, and as always, thank you for watching.